This should do. How do you feel?
Oh, can't complain. After all, there's a cozy tree in my back.
I promise, this will be the last fire. After tonight, it won't be trees anymore, but walls and a roof. In Shiring, I will find a job.
What if the bishop wants to hire you for life? To keep his palace in shape, maybe strengthen the town's defences? Plain things, Tom Builder. Just walls and roofs.
There. Took me a lifetime to find some dry ones in this wet. Why didn't we just use your staff? That old thing would have done nicely.
Because that thing is precious. It's not made to burn. And we might be able to sell it. Right, now let's see if this does the trick. Yeah, should be dry enough.
I told you. Hurry up, I'm freezing.
Martha, you want to cut up some turnips? We'll be making soup.
If it helps.
Alfred, you go and look for water.
We could just eat snow.
No, it'll be proper water for my family. You sit, I'll take care of it.
You still haven't answered my question, Tom Builder. What if the bishop offered you a job like they did in Exeter? Something that is beneath your craft, but pays for a lifetime. Easy work.
Well, building something is never easy.
You know what I mean. After Exeter, you said I could create something that matters, something that stands for eternity, or I could die setting up houses and sheds. But what if houses and sheds would feed your family? Would you stay this time, or would you keep on looking?
I'd be glad to stay.
Would you now? Just promise me you'll think about it.
Too hard for my fist, but my pot should break it. Houses and sheds. Oh. Walls and roofs. Harder, Tom, harder. I'd be glad. I should be glad.
Tom, what's keeping you? And did you think about what I asked you?
Dreaming of building a cathedral was foolish. When we get to Shiring, I'll take the job.
Why is a cathedral so special?
Well, you've seen a few. You should know.
Yes, but there are so many already. Why do you have to build another one? Is it because God needs more houses?
May I?
If you must.
Well. Actually, a cathedral isn't so different from any other house. It always starts simple, with some walls.
And on top of that, you put a roof.
Very good. A roof to keep off the rain, and walls to keep up the roof. Together that makes one big, long, but dark room. Like a cave. Now, we mustn't forget the doors. And not only doors, but a big and impressive one to let in as many people as possible.
But isn't it still dark in there?
It is. That's why we need some windows. So the people inside can see what they're doing. By now, we've carved quite a few holes in our cathedral. Unfortunately, not every building can carry a roof like that and have so many windows.
So what do we do?
Good and solid work. That's what we do. If we don't want our cave to collapse, we have to make everything perfect. Not only strong, but consistent and perfectly even. The walls, the roof, the windows, everything perfectly proportioned.
You shouldn't say big words like proportioned when talking to a child.
What does it mean?
It means beauty. Well, it means not only will it keep them dry, it will give them hope. Agnes?
Mama?
The baby is coming.
But it's not due. Have your waters broken yet?
Soon after we started walking this morning.
You should have told me.
I'm so tired. I don't believe I can bring it into the world.
Oh, look at all the blood.
Children? Calm down, you two. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Let us help.
Martha? Go and collect more wood. Let's have a bigger fire.
Let me do it. I'm quicker than her.
No, let me do it.
Let Martha do it.
I'll be quick.
It'll take forever before she's back.
Get more water. Take snow if you must and make it warm.
Right.
Let me cover you. Remember when Martha was born and the Lady Isabella acted as midwife?
You were building a chapel, and you asked her to send her maid to fetch the midwife from the village.
Yeah, and she said, that drunken old witch will let her deliver a literal wolfhound pups. And she took us to our own chamber. And poor Lord Robert could not go to bed until Martha was born.
Oh, your hands are cold.
I could warm them for you.
No, stay here, please.
The water's warm now.
Put it next to me.
Is the fire better now?
Can you feel the warmth?
Yes.
Collect some reeds and make me 2 lengths of string, each big enough for a necklace.
What for?
You'll see.
What about me?
It's coming! Help me, Tom! It's coming!
I can see it.
Oh.
It looks horrible.
He's perfect. A perfect boy. You're still bleeding.
It's all right. It will stop soon. Tom,
Yes?
thank you for being my midwife. Do you remember the night I came to you? In your lodge? When you were working on my father's church?
Of course. How could I ever forget?
I never regretted giving myself to you. Never. For one moment. Every time I think of that night, I feel so glad.
Me too.
I hope you build your cathedral.
I thought you were against it.
I was. But I was wrong. You deserve something beautiful. Build a beautiful cathedral. For me.
Papa, what's wrong with her face?
Agnes! Agnes, wake up!
The year of our Lord 1135 had come to an end. King Henry of England, son of William the Conqueror, had died. It was a time of poverty and death. In their despair, some had come to believe Christ and all his saints had gone to sleep, and that the pillars of the earth themselves had begun to crumble. Is there no one to welcome us?
Who goes there?
You just crossed the bridge, right? That'll be a farthing for you and a penny for your horse.
How dare you ask a toll from a monk? Do you know who I am, brother?
The monk from the woods. Brother Paul said you'd be coming by. He said you'd bring cheese. It's not easy doing the Lord's work when you're hungry.
It is not much, but I can share this with you. I hope now it will be easier for you to fulfill your duties.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Will you take care of my horse, brother? I have come to see Prior James.
Prior James? That's him the bells are tolling for. Leave the horse here. I'll get it down to the priory later. Fish should go nicely with that cheese.
What? Why are they ringing the bells?
Don't you know? The devil has come to Kingsbridge.
The devil has come to Kingsbridge? Huh. Why did they lock it? Maybe the side entrance is open.
When he opened the sixth seal, I looked, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth. The moon became like blood, and the stars of the sky fell.
Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the pestilence that walketh in darkness, the pestilence that rode in on the lightning that struck our cathedral 4 years ago. Did you not all feel its presence here ever since? James did, and I did as well. But the Lord says, because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. Our beloved Prior James has served the Lord all his life. He shall be delivered from the darkness, from this dark earth.
Prior James?
Philip.
Francis?
Shh. For many years, James has been our prior. After the upcoming election, I vow to lead Kingsbridge Priory with the same steady hand. Amen.
Philip. We told your brother you'd come to Kingsbridge New Year's Day.
I did not expect to see you here.
I was on my way back to Gloucester and wanted to see you.
A priest working in the world of politics. You must tell us about it, Francis.
Of course.
And his brother a prior of what now? 2 years?
It's been 4 years, Cuthbert.
I see. How are things in St. John in the Forest, Philip?
Our little cell is happy and healthy.
Happy and healthy. Thanks to your brother, Francis, St. John in the Forest is prospering. His novices are obedient, his monks humble and pious, while our own priory is in such a sorry state.
You know James did the best he could. It was not his fault. Also, they make a remarkable cheese in St. John's. Come by the kitchen later to see us, will you?
Brother Cuthbert seemed upset.
Well, we all are. The way James died was disturbing.
Disturbing? How did Prior James die?
7 days ago, Brother Remigius found James's room empty. We all looked for him for hours. Then we found his footprints by the bridge and a hole in the ice.
Oh no.
No.
In the small hours of Christmas Day, he must have walked out on the river. We didn't even find his body. The river took him, and the cold.
I will pray for James. See me when you have time, Philip. I will be in the cathedral.
And I should go and see how Brother Cuthbert is doing. It's good to see you, Philip. Maybe things will get better after the chapter elects the new prior.
Hopefully. I will come by the kitchen later, Milius. Francis, you look troubled.
You could always read me.
Like a book, little brother.
It's good to see you, Philip. King Henry is dead.
I know. Word reached St. John shortly before I left.
First the king, and now Prior James.
God has a plan.
I know he does, but King Henry's death caused quite a commotion in the world of politics. Dark times are coming. There will be war.
If only we could stop the suffering.
Maybe we can. I came not just to meet you. I was sent to look for a messenger of my lord, Earl Robert.
Here? In Kingsbridge?
Farmers said the messenger was heading for Kingsbridge 2 weeks ago. The knight was carrying a confidential document that might change the course of the conflict. People here trust you. Maybe the monks here know something?
We will find him.
One more thing. No one can know why we're looking for the knight.
Ask ourselves is, can our Saint Adolphus still protect Kingsbridge in these dark times?
He couldn't protect Prior James. Ever since that lightning struck the cathedral, he wasn't the same.
When you take over my position as sacrist, you should implore the bishop to send us a new relic. By then I'll be sub-prior. The new prior and I will support you in this.
All Kingsbridge needs is faith and hard work.
Philip of Gwynedd, I wanted to talk to you. How dare you disturb Brother Remigius' requiem?
I'm afraid the choir is waiting for me.
Stay, brother. There's no reason you shouldn't hear what Philip has to say for himself.
I beg your forgiveness. I was overwhelmed when I heard Prior James had passed.
You should know better. I'm sure at St. John's you're a good prior, but here we adhere to the rules.
Brother Andrew, have you heard about a knight in Kingsbridge?
Aside from the ones that visited for Christmas? No. If there had been an official guest, I would know. And no one stayed at our guest house.
You mentioned a new prior.
The election will be held in a few days, when we all convene for the chapter meeting.
Let us continue this conversation later.
Of course. There's a lot of planning for me to do for the upcoming election.
Is that him? It must be.
The cloister is a place for quiet contemplation.
Yes. Normally we wouldn't speak up like this, but...
But what, brothers?
Are you Philip of Gwynedd?
Yes?
May we ask you something? We know we shouldn't be asking you like this. How about you ask him? I already asked Brother Andrew. That doesn't count. He wouldn't answer. Of course it counts.
If you promise to lower your voices from now on.
Oh, of course. We promise. Brother Milius told us you know the scripture very well. Could you tell us about God's temple? Brother Andrew wouldn't tell us. Must be a place. A cathedral. That's probably what the guest master was talking about. If you do something to a cathedral, it would be a sin.
Andrew wouldn't tell you why.
He got very angry with us. We had to say the Lord's Prayer 150 times.
Each of us is God's temple, for he created us.
The guest master said Prior James destroyed God's temple. And that you'll go to hell.
Prior James did not commit suicide.
But no one saw him that night. No one knows.
God knows. God knows what sent him running out onto the ice.
They say the devil was chasing him. Don't say his name.
I have seen brave men run, for many reasons. Never have I seen the devil. So we should not make room for him, neither here nor in our hearts. All right?
Yes, Brother Philip. Thank you, Brother Philip.
Brother Arnaldus, how are you?
Huh? What?
How are you? Are you well?
Oh, Brother Philip. Yes, I am well. It's just that the dead won't stay in the ground.
What?
The dead. It's probably those badgers always digging up the graves.
You seem troubled, brother.
They won't sing. It's Adolphus. There was nothing, believe me.
I heard him crying in the crypt. I think I heard him too.
No, you are mistaken.
It sounded like a whip, like he was chastising himself. It's the end of days.
Brother Philip, please help me. Prove to them that there is nothing and no one down there.
I think I heard it again.
Let's see what we can find. No reason to be afraid. Hello? Ah! What is that? What is that? It's the size of a child. Hello? Ah! Oh. An owl. Just an owl. The choir will be relieved to know that. I should tell them.
Concentrate.
There is no need to worry, brothers. Adolphus is resting in peace. It was just an owl.
I told you it was nothing.
God bless you, Brother Philip.
I knew I heard something.
Now, be silent, concentrate, and...
Philip!
Brother Milius.
Come! Warm yourself by the oven.
Is that Philip? Tell him to warm himself by the oven.
Thank you, Brother Cuthbert. Hard at work, as usual, Milius?
I have to serve salt fish 6 times a week now.
We hear you have fresh fish every day at your cell in the forest.
Every other day, we even have poultry.
You have done wonderful work at St. John's, Philip. We, on the other hand, had a weak prior for 13 years. May the Lord rest his soul. What you worked hard for at St. John's is wasted here in the mother house.
After the election, the new prior ought to put things right.
Remigius? Put things right?
Who would vote for Remigius? He would be no better than Prior James.
He is the sub-prior, and he made promises to some of the brothers, like the sacrist. He's about to burn all the books and documents in the prior's room, including the priory's ledgers.
Remigius says James asked for everything to be burnt after his death, except for his Bible.
What? Without the ledgers, the priory's finances will be beyond saving. Was no one else nominated?
Only Cuthbert.
I refused. I'm too old.
No one else dares to follow in Prior James's footsteps. Not since he began talking to the devil.
What?
One day, he started talking to the devil, as if they were standing side by side. He was bargaining with the devil for his soul, whispering about his sins.
His sins? We'll talk more later. Brother Cuthbert.
Ah, we were waiting for you. I hope you brought some of that wonderful cheese you make at St. John's.
I gave it to one of your novices.
Why would you do that?
He said it's not easy doing the Lord's work when you're hungry.
Greedy brother Marcus.
You are too trusting, Philip.
Brother Cuthbert, you seem worried.
Prior James was a kind man, but the priory is in a terrible state, Philip.
Philip knows. He was just too kind to say anything.
Yes, I know. I wanted to use my New Year's visit to talk with Prior James about these matters.
We should be rich. The priory has much land and collects from many parish churches, but we are in debt. Our novices steal from us, Philip.
The novices are stealing?
Yes, someone took my keys. Remigius blames me for losing them. But someone used them to steal food from the cellar, more than once. Today I found something missing again.
Cuthbert, I believe I found your keys.
Where did you find them?
The thief hid them in the cathedral.
That is a sacrilege. Will you report the thief to Remigius, Brother Philip?
I will think about it.
Keep them until we know what to do, will you?
Has there been a night to Kingsbridge recently?
Milius, wasn't there a poor soul found dead before Christmas?
I don't know if he was a knight.
He was put to rest in the cemetery.
The cemetery? That was the right thing to do. Let us continue another time, Brother Cuthbert.
Of course.
Has there been a night to Kingsbridge?
A knight? A knight? Yes. He's here. Right here.
Do you know who he was? How did he die?
Brother Paul found him.
Where is Paul?
Down at the bridge, freezing his walnuts off, I reckon. He talked to him. I only put him in the ground. That's all I ever do.
Do you have any idea what the knight was doing here?
Probably tried to jump off the end of the world.
What do you mean?
There is nothing here. Kingsbridge lies at the end of the road. Nobody comes here.
Brother Paul?
Philip. Ouch. Oh.
What's wrong with your foot, Brother Paul?
Oh, just a chilblain. It will ease when the spring comes.
You should have a fire.
It's all right. It's not that cold.
Don't take it lightly. Many will die this winter for lack of food or shelter.
Remigius thinks the Lord is testing us. Only the sinners perish.
No, the poor perish. And those that he has freezing out here.
Don't say anything to Remigius, will you? If he thinks I've been complaining, he'll be displeased.
Have you heard about a knight in Kingsbridge?
A knight? Oh, yeah. Yes. He was just lying by the road, just a mile away from the priory. He must have fallen from his horse.
Where is he now?
He died. We buried him in the cemetery.
Did he have a name? Did he say anything?
Oh, he could not speak. But the look in his eyes told me he was afraid. I held his hand and prayed with him while he died.
Did the knight have anything with him?
There was a letter. I gave it to Prior James. Remigius will probably burn it with the rest of James's papers. James insisted that all his books and documents shall be burnt after his death, except for his Bible.
I heard about this. I think that would be unwise.
Sometimes I wonder if it was because of that letter. A few days later, Prior James fell through the ice. Right here. Philip, maybe I brought a curse on Kingsbridge.
For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Have faith in the Lord, Brother Paul. You did well.
Thank you, Philip.
It's getting cold. When will these novices learn to close the door?
Ah, wonderful. I always put some extra stones on the stove to warm up water. Put one in your pocket, and you'll keep warm.
Oh? Ouch!
Careful, they're hot.
Nice and warm, and I didn't burn my hands, Milius.
I knew you could do it.
Milius, may I have a word with you?
What can I do for you, Brother Philip?
Prior James had a document I would like to see.
It's probably amongst the things that Remigius is going to burn.
Oh, no.
He's in the prior's room. Maybe you can talk him out of it. You look like you have something important to do. I'll be here if you need me.
Brother Paul, a word. Here, Paul.
Oh. Ouch! Oh. A hot stone! Ah! It's a mercy, Philip. Thank you.
Remigius should give you a fire, or not have you sit here at all.
I don't really mind. Winter is bound to end sometime. Philip, if you ever run into trouble with Remigius, be careful to answer him. Do not stay silent.
Silent?
Nothing makes him angrier than someone who doesn't answer. He becomes weak and defensive. It's not fitting for a sub-prior, let alone prior.
What did you say again about Remigius's weakness?
Nothing makes him angrier than someone who doesn't answer. It's not fitting for a sub-prior.
I have to leave, Brother Paul.
Take care of yourself. It's getting colder, I think.
I asked not to be disturbed.
Brother Remigius, I'm sorry I interrupted your service.
You mean Prior James's service?
Quite so. I heard he fell through the ice. Horrible.
Yes. I was the one who found his rosary by the river. Now let me continue my work.
Why would Prior James walk out onto the river at night?
He was chased.
Chased? By whom?
The accuser.
But why would the devil be chasing him?
Better to not get involved in all this, hmm? Don't you have your own priory cell to run?
You really believe the devil killed the prior?
Some of the brothers do, and I respect their beliefs. We may never know what happened, and that's that. Now let me get back to my work.
I would like to take a look at Prior James's documents.
And why is that, Brother Philip?
Well, our little cell has given much to the Mother House. I would like to ensure that all is accounted for.
So you do not trust us, Philip, is that it?
The state of this priory...
The state of this priory is the concern of the Prior of Kingsbridge.
I still would like to see the prior's documents.
They will be burned tonight.
I heard about that.
It was Prior James's last wish. I'm following his request.
But the new prior will be lost without the ledgers and contracts.
After the election, I'll be the new prior.
For now, you are not. Only the chapter meeting can decide on these matters.
Of course. Brother Andrew will surely understand why you would go against James's last request. If you really want to be of help, look for Brother Cuthbert's keys. He's getting old, misplacing them all the time.
About the chapter meeting.
Oh, talk to Brother Andrew. He will be just as pleased as me to have you around. Now leave.
Yes, Philip.
We can't allow Prior James's books to be burned.
That, Philip, was Prior James's wish.
This priory is in debt. And without the ledgers and documents, that will never change. Besides, the wisdom in his books is priceless.
It is not up to you to make decisions in this priory, Brother Philip.
Do not domineer over those in your charge, but be an example to the flock.
1 Peter chapter 5. You are right. You shall argue your case in front of the brothers in a chapter meeting today.
Thank you, Brother Andrew.
When I'm done here, I will tell all the monks to come to the chapter house.
Would it help if I went and told some of them?
Feel free to do that. But I insist that the choir finishes practicing before we start. They're already behind schedule. The choir has finished singing. The cantor should find time now. Are you ready for the chapter meeting, Brother Philip? If you have any other business to take care of in Kingsbridge, do it now. The meeting could take a long time.
The chapter meeting is more important.
Of course. But there is one more matter I need to address first. We are still looking for the man who stole Cuthbert's keys. Do you know who the thief is?
I cannot give you a name.
If there is a thief among us, we shall find him, if God so wills. Now, let us begin.
And this is why Prior James's wish must not be honoured. Kingsbridge Priory would be beyond saving without financial records.
I think we have all understood the reason for your concern, Brother Philip. But before we come to a decision, let us hear other voices of concern.
I would like to know why you would doubt the wisdom in Prior James's decision.
Maybe you didn't know him as well as we did, Philip. I can say I knew him well. We all here knew him. So did you know him.
I knew him well, and I know he would agree with me.
Philip, you are going too far. I will tell
Brothers,
now let him speak.
Brothers, please.
Wow.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Oh, heavens.
Hear him out, brothers. I was stubborn as well, but he made me see it.
Well, that's not an easy thing to do.
Milius.
I owe James much. He was the one who asked me to take care of St. John in the Forest.
One of the most prosperous cells in all of Shiring, if not England.
It was a wise decision then.
But his last wish was not? Well, was it? What are you waiting for? Answer me!
Maybe none of you truly knew Prior James.
Who does he think he is?
May the Lord forgive him. He knows not what he is saying.
No. Philip was very hesitant to talk about the state of this priory with me. Usually he is as careful in his words as he is in his actions.
From some of you, I have heard that the devil walked by the prior's side, that James was followed by the accuser. Tell me, why? Why did he have to suffer?
God was testing Prior James.
I say the devil chased him. Do you doubt that? Do you doubt that, Philip? Surely you must have an answer. I know because Prior James confided in me.
Then, the devil had a hand in his last wish as well.
I think this is going too
Yes,
far.
most certainly did
It's
not.
all my fault.
Well, I'm not so sure.
The devil.
If the devil has come to Kingsbridge, we must cast him out. He has come. in the ways of neglect and self-righteousness. Let us look into the books and ledgers. Let us look into the problems that have ailed Kingsbridge for much too long.
Don't need your meddling.
Well, I suppose...
How dare
I agree.
that?
Hear, hear.
He is right. We should not make room for the devil.
Neither here nor in our hearts.
The novices would be better advised not to speak up.
Philip is a good man. He was the only one to say I should have a fire.
But did he do anything besides talk?
Yes, he brought me a hot stone.
That's our Philip.
Very well, Philip. But why don't you tell us the real reason you have come before us? You not only came to save these books, you have another motivation, do you not?
I am here only to help this priory.
This priory, of course. I say it is not a coincidence that he should make his voice heard now, shortly after James's passing and before the elections.
What are you saying, Brother Remigius?
This is not about James. It is about him. He wants to be prior.
No. I came here to talk to James.
I think that is a wonderful idea. I nominate Philip of Gwynedd to be the new prior of Kingsbridge.
I can't disagree with that.
Well, yes, obviously, much.
Excellent choice.
What about Remigius?
That's surprising.
Great
Prior
idea.
Philip.
Brother Philip, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you for your kind offer, but we would not want to impose on you, Brother Remigius.
Oh, but I insist. I will help you.
No, you really must not. We will see you later. Thank you. We don't have much time. Evening Mass will begin soon.
Should I not have accepted the nomination?
You've never been good at saying no. And Milius is right. Kingsbridge needs you.
What about St. John's?
I will ride there tomorrow. I will let them know you will be staying in Kingsbridge for a few days. Thanks to you, these documents and books will not be burned. Now, we have to find that letter.
You truly think the letter can help prevent a war?
If the message says what I think it says, then yes, I do. Now, let us look for the letter.
Francis, I think I found it.
In the Bible?
Revelations, the Apocalypse of St. John. And they called to the mountains and rocks, "Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who is seated on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who can stand?" The Lamb? What was James afraid of? Was it this letter?
No, the letter is still sealed. Break the seal. Oh, this is it. You found it.
The Earl of Shiring is about to start a war.
Yes. He's made contact with my own master, Earl Robert of Gloucester.
Who is this King Stephen that has taken the throne?
A nephew of King Henry. Do you ever think of the day our parents died?
Francis, you know I don't like to talk of that.
I know. It's just that I think of them all the time. And I've always blamed King Henry. The Church suffered under his rule as much as we did in Wales. Philip, You have to show this letter to the Bishop of Kingsbridge.
The Bishop of Kingsbridge? Why?
Our late King Henry was opposed to Rome's influence in England. King Stephen, on the other hand, swore to preserve the rights and privileges of the Church, and we can help him if you tell the bishop to protect Stephen.
You want the bishop to help the new king, King Stephen?
I want a king who supports the Church. I want these dark times to end. I want to stop the Earl of Shiring from starting a war. He could set the whole of England on fire. My lord the Earl of Gloucester can never know what I was doing here. You must not tell the truth about how or where you got this letter. Don't tell anyone I was involved.
I have already lied for you. I will not do it again.
Lied? You simply said you were here to help this priory.
I lied. I told everyone I just wanted to save Prior James's documents.
Not mentioning the letter was an act of diplomacy.
I'm not like you. I'm not a diplomat. I'm a simple monk. Who am I to talk to a bishop? I cannot and will not do this.
I understand. I will write to St. John's and tell your monks you will stay in Kingsbridge until the election. And then I must find a way to get this letter into the hands of the bishop.
Yes.
My name is Jack. For a long time, it was the only name I had known. I was born and raised in a cave by my mother. We were used to getting by, but that year the winter had been harsh. I was proud to have killed my first deer that day. And while waiting for Mother to help me cure it, I decided to practice my reading.
The Lord and King of all France, Charles the Great, has spent 7 long years fighting in Spain. He has conquered the highlands and the plain. The Lord and King of all France, Charles the Great, has spent 7 long years fighting in Spain. He has conquered the highlands and the plain. Before him, not a single thought remains.
Afternoon was approaching fast, and Mother still hadn't returned. So, if I wanted to cure the meat, I had to do it on my own. Else it would all go to waste.
Huh? What's that? Mother will be proud. Now, what's that noise?
Easy now, it's just someone little. No need to be afraid.
I'm going to follow him. You go home and wait for me, little cub.
Mother?
Don't move. We killed a pig thief in Salisbury, we can kill you too. Bloody outlaw. Where's the baby? Did you eat it?
I don't have the baby.
Right. What's this?
Give it back.
What do you want with this? You can't read.
Give it back.
Leave the boy be, Alfred.
He took the baby. I saw him take Mother's cloak. He's the only one around. Who else would have taken it?
Wolves.
Found this.
His mother's cloak. The baby was wrapped in it, so he must have taken it as well.
A monk took it.
A monk?
Yes, on a horse.
Is that true? Where did he go?
He should take us there.
Leave him alone. He's just a boy.
What is your name, boy?
Jack.
Do you live in these woods, Jack? Then you know this place better than us. Please. I don't know why I left the child. I thought I couldn't take care of him alone, but I cannot leave him to die either. I have to know if he's all right. Will you help us? You're a good lad. I owe you.
If you want your silly book back, you better keep your word.
For now, I had no choice. The girl was sobbing, while her father remained tense but quiet. The boy kept on pushing me, which confused me greatly. I had never been hated before. If I had any plans of getting away, it would be like hunting deer. I had to stay sharp until the others forgot to be. The monk had crossed a small stream, or he had followed its course north, which would have led him towards the next village. Either way, the tracks ended at a riverbed as evening was fast approaching. The big man looked at me. "Which way, boy?" he asked. But I could only guess. The stream led us to a more convenient crossing. Here, one could easily pass without getting drenched in icy water. Suddenly, the boy called out. He had spotted something on the other bank. A set of fresh hoofprints. He laughed triumphantly as our eyes locked. So, we crossed the river, the boy cheerfully mocking my skills as a tracker.
What is it?
He got us lost.
Did you?
Papa, I'm tired.
That's all right. Come on, up on my shoulders you go.
No, I'm too heavy, and you're too tired anyway. I will remain steadfast.
You should all get some rest. Alfred, stay here with them while I take a look ahead.
No, don't go.
I won't be far, dear. Besides, you can do me a favour while I'm gone. Have an eye on the lads and make sure they get some sleep, all right?
All right.
See? You are steadfast. I won't be long.
You stay where I can see you while my sister rests. And no tricks. Ah! You little...
Papa, what are you doing?
Nothing. Go back to sleep. Father will be back soon. If we were alone, I'd kill you. Hey, you see that? Over there in the fog. There is something there. What is it?
A deer. It broke through the ice and died.
Children! Martha, wake up, dear.
Who's she?
We met in the forest. I'm Jack's mother. Come here, Jack.
Did you find him?
Yes, dear, we did.
The baby is safe. The monk brought it to a small cell not far from here.
But we won't go there now. Ellen offered us shelter for tonight.
I have. Follow me.
If I'd known you lived this close, my Agnes might have been saved.
Don't fool yourself. When a woman is bleeding inside, it either stops or it doesn't. All you can do is keep her warm, and you did that. I'm sorry, but the living must take care of the living. Jack, give the children some soup, will you? Will you be able to get work soon?
Hard to say. People don't usually hire a new master builder in winter. Too cold for stirring mortar. Sometimes you get lucky, but not this year.
Thank you, Jack.
Some time ago I had work in Exeter. They offered me the post of builder for the Castellan, to keep the walls and defences in shape. And it would have kept me busy for the rest of my life. We would have lived like bishops.
What happened?
I refused. All I cared about was working on a cathedral again. I was a fool.
You can do better than to build churches.
Well, I worked on one once. That was good work. I won't ramble on now. But if you ask Martha, she'll tell you everything about it.
You know, a man like you should not beat himself so hard.
No. No, there is no excuse for leaving my baby son behind.
Women die in labour. Men abandon their children all the time. It is rare that they return.
Is that what happened to you and your son?
No, that is an altogether different story. One I haven't even told Jack yet. All I can say is, I raised him alone in this cave, outside of town law. Just us and the forest.
How do you get by?
We hunt, we gather. It works well enough for us two to survive. You can thank Jack for the meal, by the way. My little cub caught his first deer today, all by himself.
I'm impressed.
What's a cathedral?
It's a big house for people to pray.
They go there to rob each other?
No, they don't prey on each other. They talk to God.
It's a place of worship and a home for priests and monks.
Oh.
Eat well, children. You'll need your strength.
And so do you, Master Builder. Go on, tuck in.
I will. Thank you. Well, they're asleep now. So, what is it?
I told you that the monk had taken the baby to a small cell nearby. It's true, but I advise you to stay away from there.
What? Why?
Because you abandoned it. That counts as murder.
Then I have to steal him. I have to own up to what I've done. I have to take back my son.
Think for a moment. You have been out of work since summer. A baby needs a lot of care. More than your other children. How will you feed him?
But what am I to do then? Live like you? I don't know a thing about hunting. I'm a mason. Even in a castle I'm more at home than here.
Leave the baby with the monks. He'd be warm and fed. You wouldn't have to carry him while you look for work. And when you do find something, you can come back and fetch him.
I don't know. Since Agnes died, I don't know anything anymore.
You're a good man, Tom Builder. You're kind and gentle and strong. You will do the right thing. You also don't have to go through this alone, you know. Jack and I will have to leave this place soon. The winter is too cruel, and we might not survive if we stayed. We could all travel together.
I don't know. I have my hands full with my children already.
I can help you take care of them. if you promise to teach my son how to get along in the world of men. We may be strangers now, but we would be at each other's side, helping out however we can.
The living must take care of the living.
Yes.
That night I dreamed of a strange world. One of knights and monks preying upon each other in a big, dark cave. There were small castles, dead deer, and a giant called Tom. Filled with fear, I walked on, hoping to find my way back to the place I had once called my home.
Did you pack enough food? It will be a while before you get to eat smoked venison again.
Yeah, I took some.
Anyone seen Martha?
She said she had to piss.
All right. I'll go get her.
You're a mason too, right?
Uh-huh.
So, what have you built so far? I'm sure Jack would love to hear about your work.
Houses.
Ugh. Even the good ones are starting to taste bad.
I mostly carve rocks. I haven't built much yet.
They're looking for you.
I don't want to leave. It's so dangerous out there. I don't want to get robbed again.
I've got a slingshot.
Maybe you could teach me how to use it.
I will.
Papa usually protects me. But he can't always be around. He needs to take care of himself too.
I will always be around.
That's not your job. You should look after yourself and your mother first. And I want to stay here where it's safe.
This knight is Charles the Great. He will protect you.
Oh. Am I his princess?
You are. Together you are brave and smart and will never give up.
All right. I have to stay steadfast. Thank you, Jack.
Martha! Where are you?
Come on. We're going on a great quest.
On our way, I told Martha the names of my trees. There was the birch, Jerusalem, and the oaks, Alexandria and Byzantium. When I pointed out Rome, she laughed and named an apple tree Southampton. The farther we walked, the merrier she became, christening all the new trees Winchester, Bath, Salisbury, while I grew quieter and quieter. Finally, we arrived at a large road. This heads towards Shiring, Tom said. The strangest name of them all. By noon, we had reached the edge of town. Mother gave us some dry prunes to chew while she argued with Tom whether we should head directly to town or past the palace of the so-called bishop. Tom was hopeful to find work at the palace, but Mother seemed uneasy. As we approached the building, Tom noticed the cold in Mother's eyes. Although she had agreed to accompany him to the bishop, she had remained quiet about her true feelings, while Tom didn't see it fit to ask. Gradually, the palace came into view. A servant to the Bishop of Shiring agreed to talk to Tom. He was hesitant, but not unwilling to hire a master builder for the winter. His expression changed, though, when he noticed Mother and me. "I am sorry," he said, not unkindly. "Maybe the Earl of Shiring will hire you. His castle is nearby, and I heard he may be in dire need of people like you." He smiled encouragingly, then sent us off, claiming his bishop had business to attend to at Kingsbridge Priory.
You don't know me. You're misjudging whatever it is I did. I'm willing to forgive your mistake if you accept my offer now.
This is all about family honor to you, isn't it? Perhaps I should tell you about my mother. She was a happy person who loved to laugh and tell stories, but father made her miserable. Oh, he's not a bad man, but solemn and strict. She hated him so much she died from it.
Are you saying you don't like me?
You're so self-centered. You never think about anyone else's feelings. You have no refinement, and you can barely read. What were you expecting?
One day you will see that you are wrong, and then I won't be so forgiving.
All right. Let's hope it's true and the Earl needs us.
Yeah, I'm starving.
Alfred, keep an eye out. I'll be right back. And boys, try to be nicer to each other.
An eye out for what?
Papa wants him to look for things that are broken.
Some people don't know they need a mason until you show them.
Papa could fix their walls or build a house. One man can build an entire house? I want to see.
Learn what you can, but don't stray too far.
Ugh. Why won't anyone just give me something to eat? What do you want? Get lost.
Watch your step, you little twit.
Don't mind him, boy. That's just William Hamley. He was hoping for a princess, but all he got was a boot.
What's he doing? Do you think he forgot something?
His dignity, perhaps?
Look, you strike me as an honest worker, but we have a right who does all the repairs for us.
Then something else, maybe? I heard rumours that there's all kinds of work here.
Well, unfortunately, it's not builders we're looking for. Actually, it's quite the opposite.
I understand. Thank you for your consideration. Walk with me, boy. So, have you heard about anyone else who might need a mason?
Last summer they were building at the monastery in Shaftesbury, but they might be finished now.
I've been to Shaftesbury. Already too many masons for too little work. What about Earl's Castle?
That's up to the Earl and his steward to decide. I can't say anything.
Even a fool can see these buildings need work. If the Earl's not worrying about his stores and his kitchens, it might be something else.
What do you need work for?
It pays. It buys shelter and clothing, and we don't have to starve. Not everyone can live in a forest, boy.
No?
No. People need to be around people. And for that, things have to be set in stone. Like the laws in towns, or rents, or wages. If everyone did whatever they liked, things would get very bad very quickly.
Can't you work somewhere else?
Not if we want to eat tonight.
You can build castles?
Well, if I have the money and the people, yes. Maybe one day I'll show you how it's done.
They refused you.
Well, just because work rarely falls into one's lap, that doesn't mean there is none. I'll give this place a look over while you tell your mother to be patient.
What are you looking for?
Something to convince the Earl that keeping things the way they are won't do for long. Could be something small, like washed out mortar or a loose column. Yeah, I need to see the hole before I can carve the rock. I'm going to talk to some people. You just keep an eye out. And if you see something I can fix, let me know.
Hello, Jack. Have you ever been to a castle before?
No. Castles are very safe places. People don't rob you so fast.
Mother told me stories about castles, about knights and princesses.
Oh, like what?
Like the one about Tristan and Isolde. They drank a potion and had to love each other for 3 years.
I know that one. Jack, do you think there's a princess in this castle? It would be so nice to see a real princess one day.
I'm sorry, boy. The Lady Aliena won't see any visitors today.
Lady Aliena?
A charming young woman. She lives on top of the keep.
Like a princess?
Well, no. Although I suppose she would make a splendid queen indeed. For now, she is just the Earl of Shiring's daughter, and quite good at her role, if I may say so.
I want to see the lady.
My, you are just as rude as her previous visitor, aren't you? All want but no manners.
Can I see her?
May I see her?
May I?
As I said already, she won't receive any more visitors today. At least not any scoundrels. Not after that Hamley boy tried to propose to her. Again. She'd rather enjoy some quiet than another wide-eyed piglet who thinks himself a minstrel. Now don't start singing, please.
Hamley?
Yes, Percy Hamley's son, William. Now, off you go.
May I see the lady?
I told you she is not in the mood for pushy boys right now.
She'd prefer someone a little more pleasant. And farewell to you.
There are so many knights here. Do you think there's also a princess?
There is one.
What?
There is a princess here.
Oh, show me.
My lady,
Yes, Matthew?
there are 2 children downstairs, desperately wanting to see you.
Children?
A rather cheerful little girl and an annoying boy.
Well, considering that it is my role to tend to my father's guests, I believe I can see them.
Your father let you renounce a wedding. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you declined this as well.
But a cheerful little girl?
And an annoying boy.
We will get along. You may bring them up. Oh, it's you. I noticed you and your parents from my window. What can I do for you? You're quite shy, aren't you? Would you like something to eat?
But they won't serve food yet.
They do what I tell them. I will have Matthew get you some bread.
Yes, please. Where's your mother?
My mother died.
Aren't you sad?
I was, but that was a long time ago. My brother Richard can't even remember.
My mother's dead too.
When did she die?
Last week.
Oh. Who's that woman with you then?
That's my mother.
And where's your father?
I never had a father.
Where did you come from then?
From my mother. All young things come from their mothers. What have fathers got to do with it?
I think you should have a word with your mother. Come on, I want to show you something. Have you ever been up this high before?
No. Wow. All the people look so small. Like little mice. You must be up here every day.
I used to, but nowadays I try to hold myself back.
Why?
We are about to make some great enemies. If our first assault fails, they may want to lay siege to our castle, so I will have to get used to staying up here for a long while. I suppose this view will bore me soon enough. Till then, I'm trying to keep it special.
And you're sharing it with us. I don't think that I'd ever get bored by this.
Come on, let's go back down. Matthew will take you to your parents. How did it go?
Oh, she was so pretty. Don't you agree, Jack?
What is it, boy?
The battlements are broken.
I noticed that already. Anything else?
The well is in bad repair.
It is? Yeah, very good, Jack. That's one thing the Earl needs to get fixed for sure. Now, see if you can spot one more area of damage. Even better, keep an ear out for gossip about the Earl. If we can figure out what kind of man he is, we might learn what's important to him.
There is a wall without mortar.
If that's true, you have a very keen eye. Well, that should do for now. Now, stay sharp. You did a very good job, son. Now, come along. You deserve to see if it works.
Look, I'd like to give you work, but we don't need you.
I just hope you're not expecting a siege soon.
Why do you say that?
Your defences are in bad repair.
Be specific, man.
The mortar in your walls has come away in places. This leaves an opening for a crowbar, and once there's a hole, it's easy to pull the entire wall down.
Anything else?
Yeah, the keep has an undercroft with a wooden door. If I were attacking the keep, I'd go through that door and start a fire in the stores.
And if you were the Earl, how would you prevent that?
I'd have a pile of stone ready shaped and a supply of sand and lime for mortar. And a mason standing by ready to block up that doorway in times of danger.
Matthew, may I have a word with you?
Well, we have a home. For now. You know, this is all thanks to your son, Ellen.
What did he do?
He did what you were supposed to do. He kept an eye and an ear out, and finally helped me convince the Earl. Grab your things, everyone, and follow me. It's time we put a roof over our heads.
And thus Tom Builder had finally found work. Little did we know then that it wouldn't last for long.
It's good you sent your brother to tell your flock in St. John's about your nomination. If you'd gone yourself, they might not have let you leave again.
There is a good chance I will return to St. John's after the election today.
Why so pessimistic?
Many of the brothers still want Remigius to become prior.
Running St. John's must be hard work. But running Kingsbridge Priory would be a much greater task.
Perfect for our brother Philip. Tell me, Philip, what will be the first thing that you do when you are elected?
We must become self-sufficient and pay off our debts.
Yes, we must.
It will take years of hard work.
You just keep doing what you have always done, Milius. And we will teach the brothers out there to do the same.
You cannot go in there.
What was that?
Who are these people?
Hey!
Step back. Step back, I said.
What is going on out there?
Soldiers?
Did they start a war again? Those fools.
Philip! It's Francis. They have Francis.
Francis.
They said they're looking for someone.
They were questioning some of our brothers.
What's your name? It would be easier for us all if you just came with us.
What about the child? Is it yours?
Francis.
Like it or not, you'll be coming with...
What are you doing here? And who is... Who is that?
I found him. In the woods.
Hey! Hey!
We fed him goat's milk in St. John's. Johnny Eightpence did. He says he misses you.
He was always very sentimental.
Hey!
Philip, you must not tell these men my name. My Lord Robert of Gloucester believes me to be in Winchester. The bishop received the letter from me, anonymously.
These men are with the bishop. He is here, in Kingsbridge.
The bishop has come for us. May God have mercy on us. You were right. I shouldn't have got us involved in the conspiracy.
Hey, you two. You should listen when you're spoken to. Who are you? And what about the child?
Did you make it? Did you two do it and make a little baby? By God, you look so funny. Oh, come on, let me hold him.
A name, or both of your names. Come on, you two. Give us something we can work with.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
What?
One of the 10 Commandments. Do you not know them?
Oh, save your words, monk.
Do you not know of heaven and hell?
I do. I know of them. I know of heaven and hell.
If you know and still go against the word of God, you will not be saved. Not heaven awaits sinners, but hell, the lake of fire.
We'll take hell, then.
No. No.
William.
What is your name, monk?
I am Philip. Philip of Gwynedd.
It's him we're looking for, not the other one.
Monks, they all look alike.
We were looking for you. Bishop Wailerun wants to see you.
Oh.
We found him. He's here. Tell the bishop.
I found the monk. The bishop. Tell the bishop.
Go on, monk. We'll all keep an eye on you.
You will be safe. We have come just for you, so move.
Go on, monk.
We're in, tell the bishop. I thought he would at least be taller than me.
What is going on here, Philip?
I don't know.
He's expecting you.
Sancta Maria Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus.
Philip of Gwynedd. Come closer. We were looking for you.
The Right Reverend Bishop Wailerun by God.
I hear you've done good work at that little cell in the forest.
I am surprised you know about it.
As bishop, I am the ex officio abbot of Kingsbridge, so I am bound to take an interest.
Well, God has blessed us at St. John's.
I wish God would confer similar blessings on Kingsbridge Priory. You may wonder what I am doing here, Philip of Gwynedd. I received a letter from an anonymous source. The source disclosed only that it was found here in Kingsbridge Priory. So, you know of it?
I do.
This letter, it reeks of betrayal. It reeks of those who betray the trust that we all bestowed in them. Of those who betray God.
Right Reverend. It was I who found the letter. I know its content.
So you know of the war. God thunders wondrously with his voice.
He does great things that we cannot comprehend. The Book of Job. But this is not the work of God, but of Earl Bartholomew.
Remigius told me it could only have been you.
I meant to do well by our church. Our brother Paul found the message on a dying night. He, in turn, handed it to Prior James.
May God rest his soul in peace.
So that's why you insisted none of his books should be burnt?
No, there are many reasons not to burn all this.
It was Prior James's last wish for all this to be burned, wasn't it, Remigius?
Yes, yes it was.
You told me about this.
Yes, my bishop.
My bishop, it was not I who sent you the letter. But the man who sent it had the well-being of the church in mind.
Remigius, he told me everything I need to know. Philip, you do not look well. What is the matter? Tell me.
Soldiers have invaded the priory.
Invaded? Oh, of course. I have gotten too used to the presence of knights and nobles. The work of a bishop. The reason why these men are outside right now is your letter, Philip. As I suspected, it did convince my allies to go against the Earl of Shiring. Now that you have confirmed the authenticity of this document, they will stop at nothing. Earl Bartholomew is a dangerous man. His plan to attack King Stephen is likewise an attack on the church. These allies of mine insisted that their knight should accompany me along with their son, and very soon they will ride against the Earl.
I understand, my bishop.
Philip, I have the feeling that there is a storm rising. Right here, in Kingsbridge. And in the eye of that storm stands one man. You. Around you, things begin moving. Don't they, Remigius?
Yes.
But there is one important thing you have kept from me.
There is? My bishop!
You did not mention that you, Philip, were nominated to be Prior of Kingsbridge. The brothers here will elect their new prior today, will they not?
The election will take place in a few hours, my bishop.
We need a strong prior. James was my friend, but a strong prior he was not. We are in agreement on these matters, are we not, Remigius?
Of course, Right Reverend. The bishop and I agreed you should have this.
Very well. Now, when your distinguished guests arrive, what will be the subject of your first sermon as the new prior of Kingsbridge?
I think what I would talk about is... I beg your forgiveness, but I do not understand.
Most of your brothers agree with me on this matter. Remigius has talked to them. They will vote for you.
As will I. And I will support you in your duties in my role as sub-prior.
A role you have fulfilled wonderfully in the past, Remigius. Wonderfully.
My bishop?
Philip of Gwynedd. You will be the new prior of Kingsbridge.
Oh.
In humbleness, I stand before you, most humbled by your trust and humbled by the great tasks ahead of us. We must restore Kingsbridge to do justice to the glory of God and to his mercy. The desperate and the hopeless everywhere shall hear our bells. They shall see our towering cathedral. Our great church will become a guiding light, but first and foremost, through our actions and our faith, we ourselves shall be such a light. A light to the lost, the hurt, and the suffering on their path to God.
The Earl of Shiring is not in attendance, it seems.
He is not. Shameful. He's busy preparing his siege on Winchester.
I trust he does not know we are about to foil his plans, Percy.
Answer the bishop, my husband.
No, he does not expect us, not at all. My men are ready.
So is our son.
Excellent. Excellent.
There you are. What's the matter?
Did I have a father?
Yes. Everyone has a father.
What happened to him?
He died before you were born.
How could he be my father if he died before I was born?
Babies grow from a seed. The seed comes out of a man's prick and is planted in a woman's cunny. Then the seed grows into a baby in her belly, and when it's ready, it comes out.
Is Tom gonna plant a seed in you?
Maybe.
Then you will have a new baby.
A brother for you. Would you like that?
I don't care. Tom's taken you away from me already. A brother wouldn't make a difference.
Nobody will ever take me away from you.
What was my father's name?
Jack. The same as you. They called him Jack Sherberg.
So, if there's another Jack, I can tell people that I'm Jack Jackson?
You can. People don't always call you what you want them to, but you can try. What is that? Jack, find the others. Then hide and don't come out till I tell you.
Oh, there are at least 200 of them at the river.
Knights, again? What colors do they wear?
They are not knights, Philip.
They say they cannot pay.
It is all right, Brother Paul.
I told them that there's a toll.
Who is your leader? Who will speak for you?
No one will speak for us, monk.
We were chased from every village.
They are outlaws.
Thieves.
We are no outlaws.
We come from Earl's Castle.
They killed our men. My child. They killed my child.
By God. We cannot feed you. We barely have enough for ourselves.
We will give them shelter.
Philip, we have not enough room.
We will give you all shelter, all of you.
I wish I had more to give.
More? We've given away almost all the food we have. What will these poor people eat tomorrow?
Before they came here, they fed themselves. They worked. Surely they can do that again.
There are more coming. Word is spreading fast.
What do we do now, Philip?
Give me the rest of the bread.
But...
Here, Philip.
Then help to clean out the empty houses and tend to the injured.
You heard our prior, brothers.
It was the Hamleys.
They couldn't get their rotten son married to our young lady.
If there is any justice in the world, the king will punish them.
The children are all alone. None of them are crying.
Earl Bartholomew was a good man. How they humiliated him in front of his children. It was not right.
He will come to help us.
No, woman, they will hang him.
But why?
Don't move, Pa.
I can work. I've always worked. Please let us stay.
What is this, Pa? Your leg has turned all black.
I taught my children how to make baskets and ropes. Ah!
Here.
Take it, son. Your sister. Your sister has not eaten in 2 days.
Thank you.
They must have seen horrible things. Children, take some food. Please, take it. You have to eat. Here, I will put it here. Eat when you're hungry.
Thank you, Prior, for your clemency. I know there's only so much you can do.
Take some bread.
Only one loaf of bread for all of us?
In Wigley they spat on us, and now you want to complain when this monk shows mercy.
But I...
Thank you, Father.
Please, give some to those people over there.
We have Why did this happen? What did we do wrong?
Our children will die in this cold.
Wake
Please,
up, Pa.
let us stay. We can work.
Philip, we are running out of room.
Have you done as I told you?
We have cleared out the houses and put up fires. All houses are occupied, and our brothers are treating the sick and injured.
There is still some room in the guest house and in the dormitory. Tomorrow we will open the cathedral. We need all the room we can get.
Prior Philip?
Yes?
I am Tom, Master Builder, and I'd like to rebuild your northwest tower.
Dear God, they look even worse than the others. Like they haven't eaten in days.
They just don't stop coming, do they?
I have worked on Salisbury Cathedral. My last employer was the Earl of Shiring himself. I know my craft. If you let your tower collapse, it may tear down parts of the nave. Hire me, and I'll make it strong again.
Do you not see how many there are in need? They need help as much as you do.
They all followed a profession once. They all want to work.
That child? You are raising a child?
My brother found Jonathan in the woods and brought him here. The poor boy would have frozen to death if it hadn't been for God's great mercy.
Jonathan.
Look, I am sorry, but all I can offer you is a place to sleep.
I'll accept. But I'd rather earn it. We didn't come here to beg.
Ask God, then. That wouldn't be begging, it'd be prayer.
You remember what I told you about the kindness of monks? Ask God. That wouldn't be begging, it would be prayer.
Oh, I will pray. I will pray for a thunderbolt to strike the church and level it to the ground.
I wonder if they refused us because of me.
Do they know you?
I used to live close to here, so it is possible.
Can't we go home?
Not anymore. We used all our supplies on the journey here. We've made our decision. Now we need to see it through.
Can I look around a bit?
Yes, but don't stroll too far. Be cautious of those monks. I told you the baby would be safe.
What baby?
I will not change my mind on this matter. We will help them, all of them. Remigius, do you truly want to leave these people to die?
We should remove ourselves from the world, my prior. It is for God to decide, not us.
We will help these people. We must.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Remigius here is right. This is no place for children.
Now I remember her.
What is it now, Remigius?
This woman. She came with the builder.
Yes?
She is not a refugee.
What do you mean?
She's an outlaw. She's been here in the past. Prior James warned me about her. She is not from Earl's Castle. She's from the forest.
But her husband?
I doubt they are married.
Young man, are you not the builder's son? What's your name?
Jack Jackson.
Son of Jack. Well then, you may go now.
He is not the builder's son. I knew it. He is her son. And of a man called Jack. Fornicators, that's what they are. Unmarried even.
Oh, I wish someone would just tear that cathedral down so we could start afresh.
That would require a miracle, and I really don't know a thing about them.
I'm so tired.
Come, I'll sing you a lullaby. Actually, it's Jack's favourite. A lark caught in a hunter's net sang sweeter then than ever, as if the falling melody might wing and net dissever. At dusk the hunter took his prey. The lark is freedom never. All birds and men are sure to die, but songs may live forever.
If they need to build a new cathedral, Tom will get work. And we can stay here. Tom always talks about wanting to work on a cathedral. What? so much smoke. It's too heavy. I can barely breathe. It's too heavy. I need air. Maybe upstairs I can breathe. I need to get out. There's a breeze coming from the back.
You! I know you. Your maximum uncle. It is you! By God and the devil! They sent you back to punish me. I told them we must repent for what we did to you. To all of them. For my sins. Cast me into the lake of fire.
Francis, only 2 days have passed since you left our priory. Much has happened in these 2 days. Many desperate men, women, and children have found refuge here. These people were driven from the castle of the Earl of Shiring. Never had I expected a visit from you to cause such grim consequences. I told you that I want to help to stop the war. Now, I find that I have started a war myself. Is this your diplomacy? Are these your politics? A couple has come to seek shelter at our priory. Remigius tells me the woman is a witch. Even if that is not true, they seem to live in sin. Remigius said to expel them for their act against God, but I decided against it. They might speak their vows as soon as opportunity is offered. Milius and Cuthbert have taken it upon themselves to feed the baby. They called it Jonathan, the gift of God. Johnny Eightpence was right. He loves goat milk. A gift of God. And yet someone gave up on him. I will not give up on him, or on anyone else. Not on us either, brother, even if the hope for my own redemption is as small and frail as Jonathan is. I pray that this letter finds you in good health. In consideration of my own, I ask that you not talk about our parents again. One must let these things rest. I have made my peace and won't hear any more of it. I heard from you that only 3 in Earl Robert's employ can read. One of them is my brother. And I hope he forgives my harsh words. Your brother, Philip.
No! Get out of there!
What? What is that?
By God! Save yourselves! The saint! We must save the saint! Fire! The whole roof is in flames!
My God!
Don't go in there! Adolphus! The saint! We must save him! No! Don't go!
While the monks and refugees cleaned up, I kept hidden. I hadn't expected that a magnificent building like this could so utterly collapse. That the ignorant little boy that I had been could so easily turn it back into a pile of dirty stones. I knew then that I had done something wrong, and no one could ever find out.
Prior Philip, I had the site cleared. It should be safe now.
Good work. Thank you, Master Builder. This concludes a very long night, then.
Many people left already. They asked me to thank you for your kindness. They're sorry for what happened.
Well, they should thank God for his mercy. No one got hurt, no one died. 45 monks and 11 novices, all accounted for. No one's missing.
No one?
Milius and Cuthbert even saved our saint from the crypt.
Do you know what caused this?
Someone set fire to the roof.
Do you suspect anyone?
No. The church was empty when we locked the doors.
Oh, no one got hurt. The books were saved. Even the bones of your saint were unharmed. Maybe this happened for a reason.
What do you mean?
Here. Let me show you something. Tell me, what do you see?
I see dawn.
Right. Prior, I am deeply sorry about what happened to your church, but you must remain steadfast.
And stare at the sunrise?
No, you're only seeing the sunrise because you're facing east, straight east, like a church. Now, I know you have no money, and that helping people is more important, but we could start right here. Take the stones we've got, and the people who want to help.
So, what is it I am looking at, Tom Builder?
It's the aisle of your new cathedral.
I see it. I see now. A few weeks later, I received an invitation from Bishop Waleran. In Winchester, we and Waleran's allies were to meet King Stephen himself. The bishop seemed assured that because we had helped the king, Stephen would support us in return. And that with his help, we would be able to rebuild Kingsbridge Cathedral.
Percy Hamley.
Bishop Waleran. Good morning.
Ali! It's them! Over there! The Hamleys!
Again, thank you for your assistance in Kingsbridge, my son.
We have to thank you. Without you, we wouldn't be here today. Right, Mother?
Of course. Well, don't just stand there. Walk out with me, but very calmly. We can't let them see us.
Oh, children, pardon me.
Now we're only missing one more.
Here he is.
Good morning.
Bishop Henry, this is my prior.
Philip of Gwynedd, Prior of Kingsbridge, my Lord Bishop.
You won't have to say much today, Philip.
Leave the talking to us.
No, leave the talking to me. King Stephen is my brother, after all. Let us make haste. My brother is an early riser.
We must make haste. I want to go hunting in the New Forest. England is full of game. No comparison to Normandy. This country's still wild.
This is Waleran Bygod, the Bishop of Kingsbridge.
Waleran, I remember you. We've met before.
And Percy Hamley.
My king.
He brought Bartholomew to justice. And it's not the first time he's helped me. He has Norman blood in him. We should hunt together someday.
Indeed, sire.
Bartholomew, on the other hand, will not leave the jail alive.
Percy Hamley did not do it without help, my lord. It was I who told him of the plot against you.
And now you come to be rewarded as well. I see.
My brother, the Cathedral of Kingsbridge has burnt down. Waleran asks for a reward, not for himself. He asks for our church.
I take it your church cannot afford to rebuild that cathedral, Henry. Neither can the crown.
I, or rather Bishop Waleran, had an idea. You could give the Earl of Shiring's lands to the Bishop of Kingsbridge to finance the rebuilding of the cathedral.
I like the idea. But Percy and his men were the ones who took Earl's Castle, not Bishop Waleran. Right, Percy?
Yes, my king.
He knows the area, and he will be a loyal Earl, will you not?
Of course, my king.
You ought to give thanks to God first. God made you king.
Don't go on like that, Henry. Don't do that. You know what happens when you do that. It was a long way to this throne. A long way.
Yes, my brother.
Now I will hunt.
My Lord King, I thank you for being willing to reconsider the future of the Shiring earldom.
When shall we hear your decision?
Tomorrow. Bring my bow. Tell the men we hunt.
Philip, Waleran and I have much to discuss.
All right. But what can I do to help?
Well, my brother asked me to get a confession from the traitor Bartholomew. A confession would be helpful against those who believe Bartholomew's arrest was unjust, and it may help us to convince my brother to forget all about his promise to Percy Hamley.
How could you let her get away? That little bitch.
I will find her, Mother. She was here? Why?
To see her father, of course. But that won't help her. She has already made a fool of you once. Don't let it happen again.
No, Mother.
Monk, it's about time you showed up.
Huh? Regan Hamley? We have not been formally introduced.
You are a fool. Is that formal enough for you, monk? You don't understand any of this, do you? It's as if you've never set a single
You'd better
foot
call me
outside your
father.
little How you let yourself be used by those two greedy bishops, I'll never know. Ugh. Waleran wants the lands of the earldom for himself. Henry knows that. Say something. You don't believe me, do you, monk?
You are only worrying about your husband's land.
Well, of course I am, and you should be too. If Waleran wins, we both lose. I know you don't trust me, but your bishops are no different from me.
Do you have a way to prove any of this?
Ride with my son, William. Just a few hours. I will prove to you that Waleran will betray you.
All right. I will ride with your son, if only to prove you wrong.
Very well. Maybe you're not a fool, after all. But do not let the bishops see you. William?
What?
Ride with Father Philip. Do as I said.
William Hamley declined to tell me where we were heading. He enjoyed keeping me in the dark and forcing me to follow his lead. Sometimes he sped ahead on his warhorse, and it took me some effort to catch up. But sooner or later he would stop and wait, sneering as I rejoined him. On one occasion he stood there urinating against a rock. When I caught up with him, he turned without covering himself. He found my shock at his shameful behavior comical. He laughed, got back into the saddle, spurred his horse, and rode off. Again I followed, hoping this journey had not been another horrible mistake. Near a bridge, I found William with a group of washerwomen. He was shouting at them. When I arrived, I could only hear their replies. They said that they had not seen a girl or a boy fitting his description. A younger, blonde woman said that even if she had seen the girl, she would not tell him. Apparently, she had heard of William Hamley. William grabbed the startled-looking woman by the arm. He shoved his right hand under her skirt. She started crying. The other women asked William to stop, but were afraid to anger him. William turned and grinned when he saw me approaching. When he heard my words, William's grin faded. He pushed the young woman away. The other women looked at me in a strange way. They must have asked themselves why a monk would ride with such a man as William. We rode off, and William stared at me full of spite. I told him I pitied him. I did not tell him why, because I had no words for it. We did not talk after that. Not for a long time. William talked to more strangers along the way. First, I believed he was asking for directions. Then I realized that money was changing hands. William was paying these people for information. I was glad that for now he had lost interest in hurting others. Then I saw an old woman pointing William to a bearded man on a horse. William called the man a horse thief. Then he grinned and signaled the puzzled man to get on his horse and ride with him. They rode faster and faster, and I could not hear what more they talked about. I could not hear much. It seemed the man had agreed on a deal with William. He received a handful of coins, and before he rode off north, I believed I heard the two mention a name, Aliena, and I prayed that whatever William's plan was, that it would fail. Then William waved at me to ride faster. I reckoned we had to be close to where Lady Hamley wanted us to go. Not long after, my stomach turned as I realized just where exactly we were bound. Just a moment.
What?
You know very well that Bishop Waleran is in Winchester now. So what are we doing here?
No idea. Mother never tells me anything. She treats me and Father like damn children. It's a wonder Father ever got to fuck her in the first place. But here I am, and I'm starving. Damn, I'm starving.
Where are you going?
In there?
No.
I'm sure the bishop would want to see me well fed. We won't be staying long, so whatever it is you gotta do it fast.
How can I help you?
How about you step aside?
What is that?
With him. I don't know who you are, but you have to help me.
What happened?
He forced me to serve him food. He took the Lord's name in vain, and he pushed me and touched me.
Oh, God.
Ah, the monk. Oh. Did the boy call you? So what, did he ask you for help?
You didn't have to say anything. I knew you would get us in trouble.
Trouble? Me? We're young men, he and I play rough. So what?
I asked you to leave.
And that is what we will do. What will the bishop think of your behavior?
Listen, we're all on the same side here.
We are not.
You, me, him, we're all working for the bishop. He won't mind. I play rough, so what? We are all men of God. Well...
You are a sinner.
So what? Everyone is. The bishop told me. But my sins are forgiven.
Why would you think that?
I took Earl's castle for him.
Your parents agreed to arrest Bartholomew because they wanted his earldom.
Who cares what they think? I felled Bartholomew's men with my sword. The old man was begging me for his life. On his knees, he begged me. I did it for the bishop. But hey, I'm sure you did great things for him as well. You think my father took Earl's castle?
It is time to leave.
Is it? This is the second time you've spoken to me as if I was some snot-nosed child. Get on your horse! Come on, say it again! I would have fucked that woman if it hadn't been for you.
And what would that have achieved?
She'd have learnt her lesson. And don't you think I noticed how you spied on me and that horse thief? I should kill you for that. I should. Let me tell you, I will fuck Bartholomew's whore of a daughter. I will fuck her good. I'm a man! Damn it, I'd fuck the boy if that was the only way to put him in his place. Hell, he looks like he'd enjoy it too.
You are not a man. You are a beast.
Oh, I am a man. But yes, there is a beast in me. It hunts and kills like no other. I unleashed it for the bishop. And my sins are forgiven.
Not even God would forgive those sins.
Of course he would. He already did. The bishop told me.
Then the bishop is wrong.
Hey, we're on the same side here. Now, we will stay here a while longer, as I've not finished eating. Shit.
Throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
What?
Hell. It is a depiction of hell. I told you of heaven and hell once before. Do you remember?
Of course.
The bishop said the relief intimidates even his most impious visitors. They all fear death.
I'm not afraid to die.
Do not fear those who kill the body. Rather fear him who can destroy both soul and body. In hell.
Who's he?
The devil. A fallen angel.
I have nothing to be afraid of.
The cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the idolaters, and all liars. Their souls are the devil's. They will all go to hell.
Stop it! Hell is far away. I'm not afraid.
It looks so alive. Perhaps the artist has actually seen the devil.
Are you afraid? It's just stone. Hell is far away.
If the bishop finds out about this, he will not be pleased. And if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire.
What's that?
It's from the scripture. The end of days.
The second death of the sinners.
Bishop Waleran said that if a sinner stares into the flame, the devil stares back from the lake of fire.
What?
I can't see him. What is it?
We ride back to Winchester. Now!
What happened?
Maybe he saw things to come.
How can I thank you?
Tell me, what is being built out there?
What?
A substantial construction is underway, it seems.
Yes, but...
What is it?
A castle. The bishop is building a castle.
A castle? Why a castle?
I don't know. It is not for me to ask or question the bishop.
Of course.
And I doubt it's for you to question him either. That man, William, had no idea why you two came here, had he? You came here to spy on the bishop. You brought this man here. Leave! Go! But leave the tableware.
I only wanted to tidy up the table.
There you are. My son seemed thoughtful when he returned.
You priests and your talk. You always get to him.
He seemed more excited after talking to your bishop, though. Then again, We know Waleran is good with words. Don't we, my husband?
Of course, yes.
Speaking of Waleran, what did you find, monk?
I am not sure.
You must have seen it. Are you that blind? Bishop Waleran Bygod is building a castle, and he used up every stone and every tree on his own lands. He claims he wants Bartholomew's land for your cathedral. But what Waleran wants is a castle.
He's always been like that.
Not long ago, you accused us of being selfish. But what about your bishop, eh?
What do you want from me?
As Prior of Kingsbridge, you will agree that my husband shall have the whole earldom of Shiring.
And why would I do you a favor like that?
Because we will support the rebuilding of your cathedral with our stones and our timber.
The king can live up to all of his promises, and Waleran gets nothing.
That is our offer. What do you say?
I agree.
Ah. Did you hear, my husband?
Yes, you said he'd agree.
My husband will let the king know of our agreement. Bishop Waleran will be quite surprised. You will see his true face when he does not get what he wants.
Good day.
You come to visit someone in my jail, Father? Or do you want to pick out a nice warm cell for yourself?
How dare you?
Oh, I'm just pulling your leg. See? A smile, just for you, Father.
Bishop Henry sends me.
The bishop, eh? What does he want?
He wants me to talk to Bartholomew of Shiring.
Bartholomew of Shiring? Ha! It's only Bartholomew now. It's his 4th day without bread. Soon he won't even be Bartholomew anymore.
Bartholomew. I am Brother Philip. Could you forgive those that wronged you?
Only God forgives. A monk should know that.
Why did you go against the king?
Stephen sent you. Why would you side with the usurper?
If you talk, they might bring you food.
You are not the first to offer me that. Why should I confess to you?
Your people found refuge in my priory. Your confession will help me to give them work and shelter.
I have no sins to confess. My only regret is that I failed.
I will not tell the king that. They will kill you.
They have already done that. Monk, tell them that I confessed.
To what?
All of it. Treason.
But...
The son shall not suffer for the iniquity of the father. Tell Stephen that as well.
You know the scripture?
Richard and Aliena, my children, they must live.
And a good day to you too, Father.
He confessed to everything, but he asks for clemency for his children.
Good. I will let my brother know what we have achieved today once he returns from the hunt.
Good, Philip. You did well.
About Bartholomew's children.
My brother was never one to judge a man by the deeds of his father. Still, I shall mention Bartholomew's request to him.
Would you not rather build a castle, my bishop?
What?
A castle like this, I mean. Do you not find this place remarkable? Winchester Castle?
Of course. It is.
Maybe I should come back tomorrow.
Yes, there is not much a monk can do here.
Yes, your bishop and I will do what we can to help your priory.
My loyal subject, Percy Hamley, today becomes the Earl of Sharing. Of the former Earl's possessions, Percy shall have the castle, and all the land that is tenanted to knights, and all farmlands, pastures, forests, and quarries.
I swear by all that is holy to be your liegeman, and to fight for you against any other.
My king...
Ah, yes. Of course, I have not forgotten the worries of my bishops. The Earl of Sharing himself, Percy here, solved this problem for me. Thanks to him, I can uphold my promise. Don't worry, Bishop Waleran. Kingsbridge shall be rebuilt. Percy told me of a man here whom my brother has not yet introduced. Come forward, Prior.
My brother, may I present to you Philip of Gwynedd?
My king.
You seem afraid. What are you worried about?
I'm worried because I don't have a clean robe to wear.
Then stop worrying. I like a monk to look like a monk, not like a king. Now, about the arrangement between you and Percy Hamley. He told me that he wants to support you in financing timber and stone for your new cathedral. I wholeheartedly agree with the plan you two have devised. It shall be done.
Thank you.
Thank you, my lord.
It seems unnecessarily complicated to give the land to the bishop. Percy told me that you, Father Philip, share that sentiment. He told me it was your idea to take up the burden of managing the rebuilding of the cathedral yourself.
Wonderful.
I'm glad that we all were able to help you, Bishop Waleran, in this pressing matter. After all you have done for me.
Thank you, Lord King.
Bartholomew lost everything in his attempt to end my reign. This morning he was found dead in his cell. I've heard that you, Prior, worry for his children, Richard and Aliena. While they shall lose their status, their name, and their land, they shall go free, wherever they are.
You must be very proud, Lady Hamley.
Of course. Father Philip has been very understanding in all this.
Yes, he is remarkable. Very remarkable.
My husband and I were terrified when we heard about the fire in Kingsbridge. It is a blessing that we can help him and his priory now.
You sowed the wind, Philip.
Is everyone ready?
Yes, everyone will be there.
I don't see why I have to come. Listen, I know you were the one who stole the keys. Philip knows that as well, but he never told anyone, not even Remigius. We believe you can do better. You will do better. The least you can do now is show respect for our prior. Is that understood, Brother Marcus?
Yes.
What was that?
Yes, of course.
But how are we to pray and contemplate like this? I don't dare even to send my choir out there.
We shall get used to it, all of us.
We must be thankful for all of this, for each noise, each face that disturbs us here.
We shall start with the chancel, then gradually work our way from east to west. That's the way it's done, the way I was taught to do it.
I value your enthusiasm, my dear Mason, but so far we're only cleaning up. I haven't even considered hiring a master builder yet, neither you nor anyone else.
May I show you some drawings?
By all means.
You look here first. Imagine you're standing in the centre of the nave, looking at the wall. This is what you see.
Are those windows?
Right, but that's not all. On top are the clerestory windows. The clerestory makes up 2/3 of the upper half. It's important that the wall is well proportioned to hold and to look beautiful. On the lowest level are the pillars of the arcade. They're joined by arches making up the bays. Through the archways you can see the windows in the aisle. Shall I go on?
Yes, of course. I was just thinking. Keep going.
The bays of the arcade will all be handled equally, spanning the length of the entire building. If you were facing the cathedral with the front wall torn down, you would see it like this.
Interesting. What's that, coming out from above the entrance?
That's the tower, of course.
I thought so, but why is it right above the nave? Shouldn't it be closer to the transept?
Oh, don't be fooled. The tower is, of course, farther back, but one cannot show depth in a drawing.
Ah, of course. How high will it be?
How high would you like it to be?
Oh, I am not looking for another Tower of Babel. Just for something modest, yet awe-inspiring. Tell me more about the nave.
Let me know when you've decided on the tower's height.
Well, first, I have to decide if you are even the right man for the job, haven't I?
The nave will be about 32 feet high and will appear even higher.
Drawing the eye heavenward with its loftiness.
Well said. A chamber worthy of God.
I always wondered how walls this high could hold up so well.
The Lord will be satisfied with a nave like this.
That is only for the Lord to know. I can see the transept is 2 bays wide, so it will be 12 in total. It does look splendid, but isn't that rather small?
It would be smaller, but not less impressive.
I guess a small cathedral would be closer to our means. It is still also uncertain. Percy Hamley would support us with timber and stone, but how do we pay the workers? But only God knows if it will be enough. I don't suppose you have any idea how much this would cost.
I know exactly how much this would cost. It would be no more than £3,000.
I've spent the last few weeks working out the annual income of the Priory. Here's the answer. £300 a year. And we spend every penny. Go on now, show me the rest of your drawing.
Let me tell you more about the walls. Starting right in the middle is the Tribune Gallery.
I can see you have put a lot of thought into this. I was just wondering, how long would this take to build? You can take your time with that answer.
Well, that depends on how many people you employ. If you hire 30 masons with enough labourers, apprentices, carpenters and smiths, they will be done in 15 years.
I wish my monastic officials had your ability to think ahead and calculate. So, I need to find £200 a year. It doesn't sound so bad when you put it that way. You really want to build this cathedral yourself, don't you?
Yes, Father. I want you to appoint me Master Builder.
Why?
Because he wants to give people hope.
Is that so? Then answer me this one last question. If people were to enter your church, what image would they see crowning the tympanum above the entrance? One of Judgment Day to teach people to be good? Or one of paradise to remind them of God's mercy?
Show them hell, so that they're afraid to do bad things.
I'd rather see trees and animals.
It should be the promise of a better life. Therefore, it will show heaven.
Yes.
This is quite exciting, isn't it, brother?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Francis.
I'm just glad that I can be a part of this. In the past year, I was often afraid that my involvement in politics might turn out, well, let's just say that I'm glad that I can still be by your side, Philip. And for that, I thank God, and I thank you too.
Papa, will there be statues inside?
Statues?
Oh. That's enough, children. It's time you went out and played. Prior.
Yes?
My first wife, Agnes. She died without a priest, and she's buried in unconsecrated ground. Sometimes a man builds a chapel, or founds a monastery, in the hope that in the afterlife God will remember his piety. I just wonder, do you think my design might serve to protect Agnes's soul?
God no longer asks for blood sacrifices, for the ultimate sacrifice has already been made. But the lesson of Abraham's story is that God demands the best we have to offer, that which is most precious to us. So you must ask yourself, is this design the best thing you could offer?
Except for my children. Yes.
Then rest easy, Tom Builder. God will accept it.
What do you want?
I want to help.
Too bad. There's nothing you can do. I don't get why Tom likes you, you useless little turd. For all I know, you were behind that fire. What? What is it?
Nothing. I'm leaving now.
Do me a favour and give Paul these herbs, will you?
But he's a monk. You don't like monks.
Well, it turns out not all of them are bad. Still, be careful before you trust any one of them.
Well, your son already trusted me. Oh yes, I know that the builder is not his father, and I also know about you. It won't be long till they throw you out of Kingsbridge. Witch.
There he is! Give our prior the welcome he deserves!
Oh, you know, I am only following God's will.
Prepare to raise the bell! Make the prior proud!
Well, thank you.
Go on, Jack. Don't forget about Paul's herbs.
This is from my mother.
Oh, bless her. Boy, whatever Remigius says, your mother is a saint. Oh, is that the bell? Can you see it from here? A bell without a cathedral. Your father certainly had strange ideas.
It might be. What's a bell?
Excuse me? You. I remember you. You're the boy with no father.
Actually, I have 2 fathers now.
Is that so?
Yes. Tom Builder and Jack Sharebug.
I thought you weren't the builder's son.
Well, I am now.
I have to say, Prior Philip told me there would be a lot of sheep here. I can see he wasn't exaggerating.
You know Philip too?
I do. He's the reason I'm here. Is he around?
He should be around somewhere. Busy man, that fellow. But don't worry. You probably won't have to look for him for long.
All right. Thank you.
Shall we go after them?
No. Now we know where we can find them.
Ha! Ho!
My bishop, William Hamley, has returned to see you.
Send him in, Timothy. We have much to discuss.
Next time on the Pillars of the Earth, find out what happened to me and my brother Richard after the siege of our father's castle. What will the future hold in store for Kingsbridge? The Pillars of the Earth, Sowing the Wind.